Alright, g'day guys. In this video we're going to construct a one-point perspective. This is a bit of examination practice for C block or grade 10. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is read our question. It says it gives us the given, which says we've got two views of a small dwelling with a courtyard and the information needed to draw the one-point perspective of the dwelling. Alright, so we've got an elevation view. If you want to call it a front view, that's fine, and we have a top view. In this particular drawing, it hasn't given us an additional elevation or a side view. So we're going to just have a look at some of the features. We're going to make sure that whatever we see here, we know where to find that in the top view. And then we're going to just go over some terminology and we'll get straight into it. So if we look at the front view of this, or the front elevation of the house, as we look at this, it would be in the direction of this arrow in the top view. So you can see here we've got a nice large open window. You can see where that window is open, where that window is positioned according to the wall here. All right, and if we go around the corner, we will see this hidden detail here as a door to access this little courtyard at the back, which is represented over here in the front view. All right, so some terminology. We've got our picture plane. Okay, imagine that being a window, hypothetical, a field of view through which we view the house. Right, your horizon line, every point, corner or edge of this house, right, will have a diminishing line of height towards the horizon line, and then we have our ground line on which the property is situated. Now the station point is the point of viewing the point at which a person would view the house. So we are to the right hand side of the property looking at that house. So that's kind of the field of view. We've got a right hand side view. I'm going to just draw an eye over here just so that we're thinking about along those lines the whole time, right? So that we are looking at the house from that perspective. Not the greatest eye, but anyway. So the first thing we want to do when we start is we want to position our vanishing point. And our vanishing point will always be on the horizon line. And when we're drawing one-point perspective, it'll always be above the station point. So we're going to move above the station point and we're going to intersect the horizon line. That's going to give us the vanishing point, right? We must label because there is a mark for labeling the vanishing point. Now, in order to construct this, I need to implement pretty much exactly what you see here directly underneath, and in terms of projection, okay, directly underneath the top view. So we're going to, and remember this would be first angle orthographic projection because we're going to essentially do the front view, right? This would be like a third angle orthographic projection where our front view is going to be essentially directly under the top view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down all these widths from the top view, right? So I'm going to bring it down, right? Even the roof line, the windows. So that's the window width. There we go. I'm going to bring down the courtyard. Make sure I can bring down the wall thickness as well of the courtyard. Okay, so that should be enough to get started. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring across the heights from the elevation. So we're going to bring across the window heights, and you can see that is going to be the length of the window and the heights of the window I'm intersecting here. So there we go. So essentially my window would be positioned there. Now we'll talk about what we do in outline and what we don't in a moment. Okay, so there's my roof line. I'm going to bring my roof line across to intersect there. So that will be the top of the roof. And then obviously the height of where the roof meets the wall. We have no overhang, so that's quite lekker. It's quite nice to draw with that. Here we go. So in a sense, I can now just go and construct that in construction. That gives us the roof line. And then we're going to construct the courtyard in here. This will be merely auxiliary or construction. So we're going to pull that across, and you'll see that gives us the courtyard in construction detail. Right. We can pull the inside thickness of this wall down because we're probably going to need that as we determine the thickness of the door further back. The height of the door, we'll bring that across as well, which will be in line with the top of the window, and we'll just position it there. All right, so everything now has been done in construction. All right, and what we're going to do now is we're going to first establish what we would see as what we can present an outline with regards to this auxiliary that we've just created by looking at the top view. So what is attached to the picture plane? The whole front elevation of this part of the house over here is attached or is in contact with the picture plane. So if those features there that we would see on the front from this elevation, right, and I'll highlight them now, those features we can go ahead and we can construct them in outline. So this window, right, this wall and portion of the roof, right, this, in other words, this face of the elevation will be seen along, well, shares or corresponds to that line which is on the picture plane. So everything there I can construct in outline. So I can go ahead, right, and give those outlines. So these are points now that I'm going to get marks for. These points that join, I'm then going to go ahead and fix and then get the window in an outline. Excuse me, I'm pressing a bit hard. Okay, good. We'll come back to the window depth a little bit later. Right. And what I'll do here now is I'm going to send all relevant points, all the points I need to back to the vanishing point, and then we're going to vanishing point, find the position. Vanishing point, find the positions, because a lot of people project a bunch of lines back to the vanishing point and then confuse themselves with, because you've got too many construction lines. So we're going to start with the height of the roof. So we want to establish this line or find this line in our vanishing point perspective. So what I'm going to do is take the top of the roof, and I'm going to send it to the vanishing point. Right. Now, in order to find out how far back that goes before the roof actually stops, I'm going to need to use that very point in the top view. So what I will do is I'll take that point, which is the back, if you like, back top corner, all right, of our gable roof, and we're going to take that down to the station point. I'm going to need a longer ruler in this instance. So let's take my T-square off. You guys should have a separate 30 centimeter ruler. So I'm going to take that to the station point, and I'm going to intersect the picture plane. So that's what I'm looking for. That intersecting point on the picture plane is the next vital step. Okay, so we've got a vanishing point line for the roof height and the roof feature or detail, and then I'm going to pull that down to intersect, okay, that roof line. That is going to be the roof line which we can commit to in an outline convention. So there it is. So that is the apex of the roof. There's the apex of the roof constructed. Vanishing point line, okay, and then a station point projector. And we come off that picture plane perpendicularly to position it in the drawing space. Now I'm going to work on the roof line that runs all the way, it's connected to the wall over there, as it runs all the way to the back of the house. So we do exactly the same thing. I'm going to project to the vanishing point. Okay, so it needs a vanishing point. So remember, it diminishes in height as it moves, as we have the perspective towards the horizon line. I'm then going to go to the back corner. I'm going to pull that down to the station point and intersect the picture plane. Then I'm going to drop that straight down, that intersecting point, perpendicularly to come and intersect that vanishing point line. And now we have the back corner of the house. So I can actually join the apex of the roof to the back corner of the wall or roof, lower point of the roof. And there, after that, what I can do is I can actually go and get that roof line from there to there, right? The edge of the roof or the top of the wall. Now we have this whole face has been constructed by just two vanishing point lines and 2 points of positioning. Right, there we go. Good. So I'm just going to make a mark every time we've used a point for a picture plane projector, right, or a station point, sorry, projection. Right, so now we've got the roof. Now we want to get, I'm going to work with the bottom corner or edge of the wall to the vanishing point. So we're going to set that up now. Okay. There it is. And what I'll do here, right, is I'm going to work with this courtyard feature before I go and put the door in, because I want to see what's going to overlap and what isn't. All right. So I'm going to take the auxiliary, if you like, or construction of my my courtyard feature back to the vanishing point, right? And so what I'll do now is I'm going to work with the back corner, and if you like, and this front corner here. So let's start with the front corner. Let's come to the front 2 points of the courtyard wall. It's closest to the station point from where I'm viewing it. We're going to project to the picture plane, and we're going to pull that straight down. And we're going to intersect, so that front corner is this front corner, which we've projected back, right? Is that front corner of the wall we've projected back. And now I'm going to send a perpendicular again off that picture plane, and there is going to be my that front corner of the wall. Now obviously that wall has some thickness, right? And we know that this is the thickness of the wall, so I'm going to take that back to the vanishing point. I'm just going to stop there. I don't need to run it any further. And I'm going to take that back to the vanishing point, and I'll stop there. I don't need to run it any further. And all I'll do here is project these straight across. So I'll go from that point there where it intersects, bring it straight across, right? And I can go straight up from there, right? Alternatively, I can project that straight across. There it is. So that is the front edge, or that face there, okay, which is this over here in the elevation view. Excuse me while I rock my board around. That we've now found further back in its position according to where I am stationed. All right. Then, to go get the back corner or edge of the house, it's quite simple. It's just going to run off that back corner of the house, and we're just going to run a parallel line, all right, off the ground line to go and connect on that back corner over there. That's where it is. And then from there, I can just draw a line straight down to come into contact with that lower part of that bottom edge of the wall, and that will give us pretty much that whole aspect, or that whole feature, that whole part of the wall of that courtyard feature, sorry. Then we need to establish this thickness here, all right, and either you can use that internal point or that point there. So let's go and use this point here, okay? So I'm going to pull this down to the station point, right? Get that intersecting point there on the station point, so just make sure we know which one it is. There's two very close there. I'm going to bring that straight down, and there it is, there. I'm then going to pull that straight across, there we are, until it comes into contact with the inside edge of that wall, and there it is. We've got the courtyard, other than a line that should run from the bottom of the house. So in other words, if I bring that corner down to there, all right, that's actually, sorry, that isn't the inside edge. That line there would give us the inside bottom edge, if you like, of the courtyard feature or the courtyard wall. So what I'll do now is I can go and get that detail in outline. Let's get this in so that we see it, and we don't want to just be left with a whole lot of construction lines. It'll get confusing, so try to be as accurate as possible with this. Right, join these points up. Here we go. Bottom edge over there. Make sure we join that up as well. Right. Projecting across there, projecting across there. Okay, you can see how that courtyard feature is beginning to unfold. There we go. We can get that corner in over there as well. Okay, so that courtyard is now established quite nicely. We've got, the only thing we need to do is include this door over here. Okay. It wouldn't be a window. Some people get confused and they would possibly think that that's a window at the top there. But your windows and doors should always stop at the same height around the building. That's general rule of thumb. All right. So to get this door here, right, and this aspect of the house, we've pulled the height across from there. You can have a look. Remember in the beginning of the video, we pulled it across to there. So what I'll do here is I'm going to pull that from that point across to the vanishing point. So we're going to take its height across to the vanishing point along that aspect of the wall. And now we're going to go position that. So I'm going to take the front, if you like, if I was facing the wall door, front left corner or front left edge of that door, and I'm going to take it to the station point. So no different. We're going to position when we need to position. We aim at the station, intersecting the picture plane, and then I can bring that down perpendicularly to give me the door. So that's going to be the front edge of the door. Then I'm going to get the back edge of the door, or the right edge if you were facing the door. I'm going to bring that straight down. And now you can see where the door is positioned, slightly inside of that courtyard feature. I can then go get this done in, right, in outline. I'm going to stop there because it's a door. I won't run a line along the bottom because there would be no edge there. Okay. Now before we finish this off, there's one little bit of detail that is required, right? And that is that there is wall thickness. So the window and the door actually have a little bit of thickness. Now, if we're standing to the right-hand side of this of the house and we're looking at that house from the station point, that's sort of our field of view, we will see the inside left depth there, right? And from this side, if I'm looking again, I'm going to see the inside right depth over there. Okay, so what that means is I need to take that depth, right, to the station point. So I'm going to take that to the station point. I'm going to intersect intersecting the picture plane. So look how close that is. It's very, very close. I'm then going to pull that down perpendicularly into the window space. Now likewise with the door, I'm going to take the inside corner to the station point. Okay, so that's it there. And I'm going to bring that straight down. Right, nice and accurate. And I get the depth on the inside of the door. Now the window needs another step. For the window, we need to come in and take the inside corner and we need to project that back to the vanishing point and just intersect that depth marker. We're going to, here at the door, it's very simple. We're just going to come off the bottom inside corner and just run a line parallel to the ground line. That gives us the door depth. There we go. Right. And then that would give us the window depth. Okay. One more thing to do here, and that is to project that across to give us the windowsill. Now you've got the window depth in as well. Because there's depth on the inside wall here, right? You can imagine that bottom inside corner of the wall would run across inside as well. And you can add that in. I'm not too sure if that would be a mark. It says show all necessary construction, so the wall thickness at the openings. Okay, so that's just the opening, so not inside detail. Alright, so we mark that, and you are getting a mark for each of these points correctly positioned. Right? So at this point in time, we look like full marks. So there's all of the marks you're getting for the positioning of these points. Okay, we're not going to mark the internal detail because it's only asking for detail at the openings. Right, so we've got 30 points. Right, we have one vanishing point labeled and positioned. We've got plenty constructions. We've got some picture plane constructions or station point projectors. We've got horizon line or vanishing point lines. And then you can see we've got detail from height lines. We can see that this detail has been projected across. So that's another construction. So that's 3 marks. Right. Positioning, it's positioned exactly where it needs to be, directly underneath the top view and attached to the ground line. It starts on the ground line because the object has this elevation of the house, or this aspect of the house, this wall or outline edge of the wall is attached to the picture plane. So we've positioned it correctly, and so I get a total there of 35 out of 35. Right, I hope this little demonstration has helped you guys. Good luck for your exams.